The concentration in reinsurance brokerage industry continues. Guy Carpenter this morning announced that it has agreed to buy its smaller rival reinsurance broker, John B. Collins. Collins is the 7th largest reinsurance broker in the world. Buying the U.S.-based privately owned firm will strengthen Carpenter's position in the North American market, according to Carpenter, and support its strategy to continue to diversify through targeted acquisitions. Collins' founding chairman, John Collins, will take the position of vice chairman of Guy Carpenter, while Collins' current CEO, Patrick Denzer, will serve as chairman of Guy Carpenter Americas. Collins specializes in crop, Florida property, and regional specialty lines, while Carpenter added the firm's medical malpractice businesses will complement its existing professional liability platform. Carpenter President and CEO Peter Zaffino said, combining the specialty expertise of Collins with our existing platform will serve all of our customers well. Collins is headquartered in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and has 190 employees. The Hong Kong-Shanghai Banking Corporation, which you may know as HSBC, is also the largest bank in Europe. It says that it will raise $17.7 billion U.S. by issuing rights shares. This after reporting a 60% drop in profits in 2008. The bank also announced this morning that it will cut more than 6,000 jobs in the U.S. HSBC's planned 5 billion shares offer at 254 pence is each of the shares would be at 254 pence is the largest ever rights issue in British history. The price will be 48% lower than Friday's closing value of 491.25 pence. HSBC's chairman, Stephen Green, said the cash raised would help the bank in the current economic conditions. Quote, this capital raising will enhance our ability to deal with the impact of an uncertain economic environment. The rights issue is being underwritten by Goldman Sachs, HSBC, and J.P. Morgan Cazenove. HSBC reported an adjusted pre-tax profit of $19.9 billion, down 18% versus 2007, but said that profit had slumped 62% to $9.3 billion from $24.2 billion a year earlier. And north of our border, the Canadian economy contracted at the fastest pace since 1991 in the fourth quarter, adding pressure on Ottawa policymakers to cut the country's benchmark lending rate to a record low tomorrow. Canadian GDP fell at a 3.4% annualized rate to 1.32 Canadian trillion, which would be about 1.03 U.S. trillion, in the last quarter of last year after 0.9% growth in the previous quarter. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg had predicted a contraction of 3.6%. Instead, they got a contraction of 3.4%, so it's a little better than what they expected. The Canadian economy, which is the world's 8th largest economy, will keep shrinking through the first 2 quarters of this year, according to economists, marking the first recession since 1992. The Bank of Canada will probably cut its key lending rate tomorrow to a record low, 0.5%. Canadian exports dipped 4.7% in the fourth quarter, which is the 6th straight decline. Imports also fell 6.4% during the same time period. Here's a bit of anomalous news from the Labor Department, actually the Commerce Department this morning. U.S. households socked away most of the extra income they got in January, which they had received from annual cost of living increases, into their personal savings accounts. This jumped the personal savings rate in the United States to a 15-year high. Disposable real incomes rose in January at the fastest pace since May, supposedly as a result of annual pay raises and COLA increases taking effect. Real disposable incomes adjusted for inflation increased 1.5%, despite the 3rd straight decline in income from wages and salaries. Meanwhile, real or inflation-adjusted consumer spending increased 0.4% in January, the biggest increase since November of 2007. And in some casualty news from Bastrop, Texas, down by Austin, a wildfire fueled by grass, brush, and trees has destroyed about 25 homes and 3 businesses. 2 Texas National Guard helicopters have joined one other aircraft yesterday, dropping water on the blaze. The governor has activated state resources, including 4 Black Hawk helicopters equipped to drop water and fire retardant. The blaze has charred just over a square mile since it began Saturday. Bastrop is about 30 miles southeast of Austin. And in the U.S., there's a major winter storm in the northeastern part of the country. We're about 45 miles south of New York City, and we probably received about 8 or 9 inches of snow here. The major storm ravaged the eastern U.S. early today, snapping power lines, closing schools, and snarling the morning commute amid freezing temperatures from the deep south to Maine. More than 1 foot of snow was possible in some northern states, according to the Weather Service. The heaviest snowfall for the New York region was expected through about 8 a.m. this morning. Most areas would see a 2 to 3 hour lull in the storm, and then the snow is expected to resume by late morning. As of right now, the snow has stopped, although the temperature is in the mid-20s. The stock market is, of course, still down about 200 points, and we'll keep monitoring it. If there's any more breaking news, we'll come back and tell you, or if Mr. Liddy comes back looking for more money, we'll come back and tell you. In the meantime, keep courage going. We'll do the best we can here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.